in the stadium, we sing today. Pie, mash and liquor, proper fare, football and family all doing our share. Community, passion, pride, side by side. West Ham forever, East and pride. Hosted by Papa, Dougie and Stu. Three proper hammers, tried and true. West Ham 1895, West Ham 1895. Claret and blue, we're alive. Come on you Irons, come on you Irons, come on you Irons. Come on you Irons. Dougie says hard work beats talent. When talent doesn't work, Papa shouts, what the hell's wrong with you? Where's the testicular fortitude? Stu kicks off, shaking his head. That performance boils my piss. He said, no sugar coating, no fancy spin, just proper football. Thick and thin, whoa. West Ham 1895, West Ham 1895. Claret and blue, we're alive. Come on you Irons, come on you Irons, come on you Irons. Come on you Irons.
Joe.
Oh, hold on. All right, boys. Listen, boys. Not yet. No, Martin. What was I going to say to you, boys? Great video the other day, guys. I've got to say, and a fantastic Mark for coming on. He had a bit of problem with his tackle. And when I mean his tackle, I do mean his equipment around the house. His electrical equipment, not his other tackle. I don't know if he has a problem with that tackle. Really, it's none of our business, is it? How are we, boys? Good afternoon, Stu.
Good afternoon, Dougie. Good afternoon, Pups.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yeah, great video, guys. We'd like just say thank you again for all the views we got. We are a new up-and-coming channel. We're going to try and get more out, bits and pieces. We're very busy men. Well, these two are. I just skiing around swimming pools, netting pools all day. Now, guys, my wife bought me this banner the other day, and I don't know if you can see that word there. It says pride. It says passion, and then it says East London. She designed that. Now, let me tell you something. After what we watched in our first two games, that's what's missing. Pride, if I can get it, passion. And we're from East London, right? We're from East London. We never, ever give up. Always remember, quitters never win and winners never quit, right? We have got to somehow change our mentality and learn to start winning again, to create confidence in the team, confidence in each other, play for each other, back each other up and fight for each other. And hopefully, Martin, we've got a League Cup game against Southampton tonight. I've always had a soft spot for Southampton, believe it or not. Hopefully we show some of this pride and passion. What do you think, Martin?
Yeah, it's going to be down to Nuno again, isn't it? However, what I'd like to see these players come out tonight, I'd like to see a change. I don't want to see a particularly strong first team, as Nuno would call it. I'd like to see some of the youngsters. So Golan Beckis, I'd like to see him start. I'd like to see Mukasa start. And just go for the game. Go out, boys. Enjoy yourself. Give the fans something to cheer for. Give the away fans, because we've got great away fans. Well, we've got great home fans. But your away contingency that goes down, fantastic. So we need to give these travelling supporters something to cheer about. And that means going for the game and getting through to round 3.
Yeah, I agree. Sri, do you agree, Steve?
Yeah, totally, mate. I mean, I'm not one of these that I want to see West Ham lose just to dump us out the cup and so we don't have so many games to play this season. I want to see us win. I want us to win, for fuck's sake. You know, I'd love a cup run. I really would love a cup run. You know, because I can't see us doing much cup in the league. So I'd really love a cup run. I really fucking would. Whether it's the League Cup or the FA Cup, I'm not bothered which one.
Yeah, I agree with you both, actually. I think he owes us because he sort of never played a full team last year when we got to the quarters, did we? You know, and we had to go. And I wouldn't mind if he did that and we stayed up, right? But he sort of half through the game and yet we still went down. And how many times in your lifetime do you get that chance? As a team, you know, you've got to have a bit of luck, haven't you? You've got to try not to draw the big teams early and you've got to try and get through. Or be like we was in the 80s. We weren't scared of no one. I've said it again. So before you message me and Stu, I am harping upon about Yates, but we was in the second division, and like same as we are now. We didn't care about no one. We went everywhere and we turned them over and we beat them, and then we stuffed Arsenal in the cup, who was sort of unbeatable. I'll talk about my League Cup memories against Liverpool, which we got to a little bit later. But I mean, I do think as a football team now, as we did last year, we got a little bit of run of confidence, didn't he? And then a couple of games went wrong for us. Like we can speak forever our men about the Tottenham Villa game, but we shouldn't have to rely on other people's results. We should rely on our own results. And I'm a bit like you, Martin. I think he's got to play I would play a strong side. I know you're saying don't play his first 11. I would put as close to my first 11. I think whether we like it or not, he's got to try Areola, because I think sooner rather than later, the fans are going to get on a Madson's back. And we don't really want to get on a Madson's back. Even if he wants him to be his first choice keeper, take him out, get a goalkeeping coach, get a load of lads, go, right, sorry, mate, but you're really crap, to your right-hand side. You seem to not be able to stretch your arms out when you're diving. Let's go over it. Let's keep practicing. I remember an Ian Wright story, right? When he first went to Arsenal and he was scoring goals, and then I'm trying to think of this guy's name. I'll look him up in a minute. When he went away with England for the first time, he said, I'm struggling to beat the Lions and the last man. And this guy at the time was the coach for Watford. And he said he stayed with him for an hour, 2 hours after the game. He went, right, Righty, make this run. Now you make this run now. Now you make this run. And Righty said he learned more off him about forward play than he did from anyone else the rest of his career. Unfortunately for this bloke, right, because I think it must have been when Graham Taylor was there, in his wisdom, he decided that he would crap in a few of the players' shoes as a joke, and it got released to the press. I knew you'd find that funny, Stu, and he got slung out. I remember Mark Ward did it to Alvin a few years later. But what I'm saying is, if we get the right people in, I'm not saying a Madsman not going to be a really good goalkeeper, but I think at the moment, he has issues. He's got issues in certain areas. He's catching the ball really well. He's rolling the ball out. We know he's good with his feet. But start going with certain areas. I would certainly drop him and bring Areola in and see if he brings something different to the team. Are we going to play Myers, Martin, or are we going to stick with Scholes?
Who knows, mate? Who knows? It's the thing for me, yeah. What we've seen in our last two games is a bench that have got many a youngster on. And these youngsters, if they're going to be on that bench, they need to get minutes. This is a cup game. I'll be totally honest with you. I don't care if we go out tonight. I really don't. We've got bigger fish to fucking fry. We don't look like we're set up for this league. We're going to struggle. And these youngsters that are on this bench, what a better time to get them out there, give them some minutes, and let's see what they've got. It's going to give Nuno a headache. If Ajala comes in as a blinder, brilliant. What a headache to have. Myers, if he starts, Golan Beckis, if he starts, we've got young Mukasa, who we brought back from Man City, who's on loan for the rest of the season. These youngsters, Le Madrid, why can't we give them a run out?
I want to see Fearon in the side as well.
Absolutely, but he's not got a squad number with us at the moment, has he? So
it's bollocks, isn't it? A player like that.
It'll be nice because he's one of the players that we identify that can split the lines.
Yeah, but like Martin, I hate to say this, right? Now he's record at the moment, Nuno. His record is on a par. In fact, it's even below now Avram Grant's, who we didn't think we could get much lower. You can't get much lower than shark shit. And I think when we had Avram Grant, we couldn't get much lower than that. But Nuno's record is starting to come along with that. I just think at some point he's got to get the squad. I'm not even going to mention the 80s because I get it in the ear all the time. But we played our strongest teams in all the cup games. And not that our strongest team is doing much. It's come out today, whether it's true or not. Yesterday. That Crystal Palace put a bid in for. I don't believe it, if I'm honest with you. I think it's all newspaper talk. I can't believe Palace have offered 50 million for Bowen. I can't. But if they did, I would take it. But we somehow or other, Martin, if the youngsters have got pace, I agree with you. we've got to get some of them into the team. Listen, we say youngsters, we know some of them now are in their late teens, 20s, etc. But we'll always call them the academies and, you know, the youth players. And we should, but it doesn't matter who we put in this team. Somehow or other, we've got to get pace in the team. And we shouldn't have to worry. If Southampton don't put out a full team, don't forget, Southampton will be looking at this league at the beginning and they'll be thinking, right, last year they blew it. Yeah, I think all our boys should go down with binoculars tonight, because who did that? Was it all the? I'm trying to think what other team did it near the end of the season to them, didn't they? And they got slung out the playoffs. But like, I think they will be looking at us thinking, yeah, later on in the season we need to nick 6 points off of these, because these are going to be one of our main rivals, allegedly, should we say? Yeah. And I think Southampton will want to turn us over, regardless of what side we play. Stu, do you agree with Martin? And you want to play a strong side? You would just try and experiment.
Yeah. I'd have young academy boys, and I'm not calling them youngsters because they're young men. I'd have the academy boys in, mate. That's what I would do. I want to see them. I want to see what they can do. I mean, they can't do no fucking worse than what's going on at the moment. I want to see Herrick in goal. I want to see Gollum Beckett. I want to see Myers. Like I say, that Mugasa or Musaka, whatever his fucking name is. I want to see him. You know what I mean? I want to see a Jala. You know, I want to see the fucking.
He's feeling a bit hungry at the moment. He's getting that that well-known Greek dish, moussaka. Yeah.
I'm going to have a bite.
You know, probably played better on the wing for us than anyone else is at the moment, a plate of moussaka. Martin, do you know something? As West Ham fans, we do have to laugh because, like you said, we
don't. We fucking cry, mate.
We do, but like, I mean, Julie said to me the other day, like when he missed that penalty, she went, years ago, you'd have gone potty, you'd have jumped up, you'd have threw things at the telly and everything. I went, Julie, do you know what with me expects? But more than anything, the game was so poor leading up to that moment that deep down I thought, if we nick a draw, really we didn't deserve it and we was really that bad. And she was going mad, jumping up and down, Julie, because like she's a Leeds West Ham fan. She was going, you're not got enough passion in your side. I said, Julie, we've had this going on for so long. We had the start of this season. We've said about it with all the, the fireworks going off, Kretinsky coming in, being the saviour of the world, the second coming of Christ. Well, believe me, I ain't been the second coming of Christ at the moment. And who knows what's going on. We spoke about this loan the other day, that's this X amount of money. We're not even going to mention it, But I just think we need something, Martin, to cheer us all up as West Ham fans. You talk about the away fans, I mean, this year they're splitting the cup into areas, aren't they? Southern and northern sect, which I think is quite a good thing because like it stops the fans having to pay so much money for late night games, isn't it? And I think they can start mixing at a certain, maybe the quarterfinals. But like I do think for our fans, we've got to give them something. Stu, we've done it. We went up the cold Newcastle days all them years ago and got petrol bombed, standing on them rubbish. It was the stands and all the stadiums then were crap, really. They were like not better now. But it's nothing worse. There is nothing worse than coming home. It's not such a cold night, after a rubbish display from an away game. You can't get back on the train. You can't all sing. You can't, you get back on the car. You're going down the motorway and you get another team's fans coming beside you, giving you that out the window and telling you the score. It's horrendous. And I think our away fans are up there with the best, Martin. I think they deserve to have a decent side out there tonight, Martin.
Well, regardless of whether it's a cup game or it's a championship game, regardless of whether it's West Ham, whether it's Millwall, whether it's Colchester, whether it's Barnet, every single team that goes out and plays football, they've got to go out there and put their all in for their fans. They're the people that are paying these people's wages at the end of the day. So regardless of whether it's a cup game tonight or not, everyone should be giving it their all to give their fans something to get behind and to cheer about.
I agree. I went, there's a guy, Paul, I'll do out here. Yeah, his name's Cole. I won't mention his lad. And his boy is a Man United fan, and he takes him to watch Elche out here, Sunderland. He's football mad. He's only about 10, 11, nearly said his name. Again, they went back to where they're from. They're from near the Southport area. He was before they moved out here. But there was a Southport game on. Later on, I'm going to send you the videos he sent me of his boy at the Southport game. You know, all the fans like going mad. You know, there weren't loads and loads of fans, but all the ones that was there was really enjoying it and really getting into it. At the moment, because of what's gone on and all this with Kretinsky, it's almost like some of the fans are feeling like they're double crossed. And when I do watch some of the other podcasts and I look at it, and people say, no, we were lied to, you know, we was told this, blah, 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 blah. And I think some of the fans have still got that in the back of their head, that they weren't cheated out of buying the season tickets. Because I do think we've had a load of new fans turn up this year because of the price of the tickets. But I think if you're going to an away game and you're not going to try, what was that game we threw against Forest a few years back? Was it Allardyce when we lost 5-0 to Forest in a cup game, weren't it? And they should say, listen, don't waste your time, boys. I'm going to put out a weak squad because all I'm worried about is blah, 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 blah. And then stop the fans going. You know, you're never going to stop fans going. Like me and you, we were nutcases years ago. So we went everywhere, you know, all over the place. But do you agree? You think if they're going to play a crap time, they should tell the fans?
I don't know, mate. I mean, because to be fair, if I was younger, I'd be going. You know, I'd still go. You know, even if they advise you not to go, I'm going to go. You know, like I used to back then. Do you know what I mean? It's, sometimes we were advised not to go because, for whatever back then, it was more down to trouble, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Always used to go because I wanted to be in the thick of the trouble anyway. It's no, I'd always go. You know, and I don't think that'd work. Telling fans not to go, but I do believe that if the team comes out and they play utter fucking dross like they have been, I think the club should reimburse the fans a fucking ticket price.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's 100% right.
Home and away, home or away. You know what I mean? They should get their money back.
South Coast games was always good, Stu, because it was a nip on the train, weren't it? And it was a 2 hours. And you could even drive down there, didn't you? Park in someone's drive, you know, beforehand and get there all the Brighton games.
And this time of year, it's still warm, isn't it? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you do it in November, December, you're standing there in a fucking terrace freezing your fucking tits off, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
They set fire to you.
Yeah, I agree. Martin, do you think... he's got to play. We said about Pirot, and for whatever reason, he played him as a number 10. We've talked about having a decent captain and a strong captain. And Stu suggested early to me yesterday, I think it was, that if Souček comes back, he should say to Bowen, look, we're going to do like we did with Mark Noble. We're going to make Bowen club captain, but you are captain of the team on the day because we do need someone a bit stronger. Would you? I know you're not, you know, the greatest lover of Souček. You think he does a job. He's a steady player, puts his foot in. But I do think somewhere along the line, a lot of people wrote in our comments last time, we need someone hard in the middle. We need a ball winner, and we need someone who's going to win that ball. I don't think Souček can do loads with the ball. You are right, but I do think he's someone that puts his nut in and can win the ball.
Yeah, he can get his nut in there. You know. I will forever love Thomas Souček, plain and simple, but he's not somebody that I want in the centre of my midfield. You're saying about somebody that's going to be putting a tackle in that. He can't keep up with the play to put a tackle in. That's just the reality of it. You know, he will run more than anyone on that pitch, but he hasn't got the power and he ain't got the pace.
Yeah, but you can read a game. You've got to change your way. As you get older, you've all got to change. We all said that about Dawson when we got him in. No one was in love with Dawson when he came, but Dawson read the game. Dawson have the greatest amount of pace. Yeah,
but the difference between Dawson and Souček are two completely different things. Dawson come in and his performances were fantastic. Plain and simple, fantastic. Rock hard central defender. He proved every West Ham fan wrong. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I put my hands up. When we signed him, I thought, what the fuck are you doing?
And me.
But let's have it right. He proved us all wrong. And I will eternally love that man for what he did for us. Thomas Souček, I loved the person that he used to be. But he's not that man anymore. And to see him in our centre midfield, get him run over. And I don't mean like literally, as in like, you know, overrun in midfield. It's not a good thing to watch, and we get annoyed by it. We need power and energy in that midfield, and as much as I love him, he's not somebody that I want there.
Mike, what do you think of? We know that we had this with Mav the weekend, and a lot of people now are blaming Kilman. They're saying Mav had a crap game because he was. I don't think a lot of that was Kilman's fault. I just think Mav had a really, really bad day at the office. Although I've said a pairing's a pairing. Would you put Velman next to Mavropanos? As he going, you know, he's got to sort the back out. I mean, before we do anything else, Stu came in a minute because he goes, "Okay, we've got to score goals," but you've still got to stop people scoring. And for whatever reason, we've gone backwards to where we was to start of last year in the Premier League season when we couldn't keep goals out, you know, and we're conceding early yet again. So I think we've got to have someone next to Mav, and I think we've got to drop one of them too because it just didn't work, Martin.
Well, it depends. You know, what is he going to play? Is he going to have a back five or is he going to have like a back four? Veltman, when he come on, I thought he looked good. And the thing that I know from his Brighton days is that man's a leader. So for him to slot into that back line, whether it's against with Mavro or whether it's with Kilman, he's somebody that is going to like control that back line. He's going to be vocal and he's going to like... It would tell Kilman what to do. Kilman needs somebody next to him, which is why I think that Mavro and the Kilman partnership don't work because Mavro is very quiet. They do their zonal thing and they stick to it. There's hardly any communication between them. What we saw last season with Disassi there next to Mavro was somebody that was demanding what was happening along that back line. He was very vocal and he was commanding. We haven't got that in our back line at the moment, so maybe Veltman will bring that in. Now, whether Mavropanos is fit or not, I was led to believe that the reason he come off was because he had picked up an injury. Whether he has or not, I don't know. But, yeah, Veltman's a shout for me, for somebody to come in for tonight.
Yeah, I agree. His pride was up. By the way, boys, I looked up today. Diazzi has not signed for Palace, and apparently we've gone back cap in hand and made Mr. Diazzi another offer. Like Stu said, go there, break the bank, start off with him, get the money in, and go from there. Boys, Stu, just tell me about your backward two first. Then I've got to speak about this Bowen Lark with Crystal Palace. I don't know what you're going to say, but I don't know whether Martin's going to differ. The back line, who would you play the centre back to tonight, Stu?
Yeah, see, this is the problem. We spoke about it earlier, didn't we, Pups? This morning. I don't think Kilman's our answer at all. I'm starting to lose it with Kilman, to be fair. Even though he did seem to be the best of the bad fucking bunch the other day. Mavroponi, well, there's a defender there, but he's another one like Kilman. He needs somebody strong next to him, telling him what to do, marshalling him. That's why it worked so well with Diassi last year. You know, with Mavropanos, why he suddenly become this fucking exceptional fucking centre back. Like Kilman. I mean, Kilman played fucking best I've seen Kilman play was when he had Cresswell next to him. You know, because Cresswell was telling him what to fucking do, marshalling him, educating him. And we've got two central defenders at the moment that they can't work as a pair. They just don't work as a pair. And we've got no one else apart from Academy. We've got no one else apart from putting Academy in there. And I don't think putting Golombekis or Case, it's not gonna. They're not gonna be strong enough to tell Kilman or Mavropanos what to do. I wouldn't put Veltman as a centre half. He's a right back. That's where I'd play Veltman as a right back. I just don't know what we're going to do, mate. We are lacking, so fucking lacking on players. I mean, I said even before the season started.
Yeah, but Stu, at the moment, we're needed.
We've got no strength in depth, mate. You know, and it's embarrassing and it's sad. It's fucking sad. You know, I mean, yes, we harp on about the old days a lot, but I've been watching a lot of old games from back in when we only had one fucking substitution. one fucking sub, and it was the same team week in, week out, and the fucking shit they used to play on.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the players today couldn't play on them pitches. They'd play half a game.
The problem was, Stu, the players there needed the money to live. The players now don't need the money to live. They're getting, and the players, most of them players that come down with us from last year are set for life, bro.
Yeah,
look,
yeah,
we need a back two pairing. It doesn't matter. Hopefully, sorry,
it's gonna have to be Kilman and Mavropanos. If you know, I mean, like I said, I'll still like to see Golan Beckus in there, but who'd you put him up? Who'd you put him in with? You know, you don't want to put him in with someone like Kilman, and then
it don't matter if they're good enough. Play them, Stu. If they're good enough, play them.
Oh, mate, yeah. I mean, I didn't watch it all, but I
can't remember. Look, at the end of the day, now we know we've got to get a pairing out, and whoever the pairing is, I've told you, get like a bar football, stick bars in between the back four, make them run together like that, make them go back together like that, move in, learn them somewhere. Listen, how can we have like our Hammer of the Year, Wandersack, a season ago? He turns out to be crap this year. How can our Hammer of the Year, Mavropanos, this year be crap, this year? Listen, I heard yesterday we're sniffing around Arsenal still for Reece Nelson. I've been hearing this for God knows how long, and we know he's injury prone, or we won't pay too much for him, or there's a young lad, a Scandinavian lad. I'm going to look like Jack Grealish with my Alice band in now, and who's loads of pace apparently. Now, if we get rid of Bowen, we know we're going to need a right-hand player. First of all, would you take 50 million for Bowen, Martin?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Fucking all day long, mate. All day long.
Yes. Our club is notoriously crap at recouping money on purchases. You know, that is more than double what we paid for him. And he's 30 on the 20th of December. So, you know, I'd say that would be very good money. Reece Nelson, journeyman, never ripped any trees up anywhere he's been. Do one. Don't want him.
I agree, Stu.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, I'd let Bowen go. You know, yes, he's done stuff for us, but it's time. You can't keep. I've said it before, mate. You can't have sentimentality in football. When we were talking yesterday, I said, look at Bobby Moore. Once his career started to go downhill, what did they do? Flogged him to Fulham, and the great Bobby Moore, you know. So you can't. These players, once that Bowen's career, he went up, he levelled, and it's not nosediving, but he's now on a downward spiral in his career. You know, and.
I think he's got a good couple of years in him at a team that is progressive.
Yeah, but if we don't sell him now, and if we don't go up next season, was it 15 million?
15 million he's released.
15 million it goes for next summer. That's fuck it. Take the extra 35 million now, if it's true.
I agree. Take the money for him and take the money for Juve.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah. He can go and wiggle his little ears somewhere else, can't he?
Well, I just think, I don't know what it is. Last year, some people said to me that it was close to the club. I've not got an ITK. I got someone who works there, right? And they said he was carrying an injury, and that's why he had an off-ish season. But to be quite honest, the season before, he didn't really set the world alight. And I think some players just get sussed. And Jared Bowen has to change his game. He has to change the way he plays. Does he have to? You know, Jared Bowen, he did a lot more defending years ago, didn't he? We all used to moan about it. We used to say we don't want Bowen back. And then some people say he's only doing it because Soufal is too slow. So he's got to come back and back up Soufal. What would we do to have Vladimir Soufal in the team at the moment? Someone who gets stuck in. This one, we want someone who's going to get stuck in and literally smash the ball around. Listen, I love a cup final, and I think I was lucky enough to be at the FA Cup final in '80. I was lucky enough to be at the League Cup final, the last League Cup final we played in, where we played Liverpool. I'm going to tell you my story of my day there now. And at the time, Liverpool were the Man City, the Arsenal, just winning everything, weren't they? You know, we'd beat Arsenal. And then no one gave us a chance against City. I got arrested in the semi-final at Coventry. We were 2-0 up with 5 minutes to go, and we managed to lose 3-2. They had a striker called Gary Thompson, and he came on, and I'm sure he got an hat-trick. And then we got down to Boleyn, and the same bloke that clumped me up at Coventry was behind me when I was in the South Bank, and he clumped me early, and we both got stuck in the nick down at East Ham. And so I heard the second half, well, most of the game, from the police cell, and the police was kicking on the door when we scored. We ended up winning 2-0 against Coventry in the semi, and we got to the final. Didn't think much was going to come of it. There was an absolute clown of a referee at the time called Clive Thomas. I don't know if anybody remembers him.
Yeah,
he was so controversial. Like he was a Welsh guy. I mean, on one of the World Cup games, Brazil had a corner and the time was up. And as they took the corner, they scored from it. But he said he blew the whistle as they took the corner. And there was absolute outcry. The game was quite even the West Ham Liverpool game. And then Sammy Lee was lying in our area with his hands like that on the floor with his head up. And I don't know if it was Kennedy or Jimmy Case had a shot. And he was in an offside position. As the ball come, the ball would have hit him right in the mush, Sammy Lee. He bent down and the goal went in. There was murders on the sidelines, Lowell's on the sidelines, said it shouldn't have been a goal. But they give the goal and it went 1-0 up. And we all thought, it's all over. And then Alvin went up for a corner and it was finished. The game was almost finished. And Alvin went, stick it on there, overcome the ball. Alvin bosh with the header. Terry McDermott jumped up. If we was attacking the right post and went like that, and we got a penalty. The referee said the game is over after you've took the penalty. And you could have heard a pin drop. It was awful. It was one of the most terrifying games. I had butterflies. I was there. And who went up with the ball in his hand? I should never have been worried. It was no one other than Ray Stewart. Bosh, 1-1, in we went. The game was finished. I sat and cried my eyes out. It was more exciting for me than I was the FA Cup final, probably because we scored in the last minute. And they always told us how great the Liverpool fans was. And as they come down, they hadn't lost, the Liverpool fans. And as they was walking around the pitch, all their fans had gone. None of them clapped them on their, when they walk around and applaud, you give them a round of applause. You can imagine us lot. We were going absolutely loony. Unfortunately, we lost the replay 2-1 at Villa Park on the Wednesday. We actually went 1-0 up. Jimmy Neighbour scored. Jimmy Neighbour crossed it to Paul Goddard, 800,000 from QPR. What a striker he was. No. And he scored, little blonde lad, good looking. He scored with a diving header. We went 1-0 up, but unfortunately, Kenny Dalglish and Alan Hansen scored to make it 2-1. But what a fantastic day it was for me, because it was at night. We come home, we walked all the way home from King's Cross because we all had no money. But let me tell you, there's nothing like a cup final to get the fans gelled together. And one of my favourite memories of a game, I wouldn't say we played the best in the game, but scoring when the game's over. And if you wanted anyone to go up and take a penalty for you, I remember the Chelsea fans when they won the Champions League and they said, who would you want going up? When it was the penalties, and this one needed to take the penalty to win, and it was Drogba, and he scored the win. But for me, no matter who it is, whatever generation, whenever it was, over Dixie, anyone, if we needed someone to go up and score a penalty for us, Ray Stewart. He was the most expensive teenager ever to come out of Scotland. Boys, let's have some predictions for tonight then.
I think it's going to be a tough game, mate. I really do think it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, there's two players in the Southampton team that are going to want to stick it to us. Flynn Downs and now Davim Mubama, who I think he got his first goal for Southampton last weekend against Stoke, or the weekend just gone against Stoke. So, it's going to be a tough game. If we turn up, chances are we're going to get a win. If Nuno turns up in his king-size Pampers, we're in worlds of trouble.
Yeah.
Stu?
Yeah, I sort of like echo that, but I just can't see us turning up. I can't see us turning up. I just think it's going to be the same as what we've. I'd love it. I'd fucking love it to be proved wrong. I really would, but I can't see us coming away with a victory tonight. I just hope we don't get fucking trashed, because I know it's a cup game, but at the end of the day, we've got to play them twice more in the league. And if they get one over us tonight, they're going to be up for the games in the league. And I don't know, mate. I really don't know. I'm sad to be watching the demise of West Ham, because that's what it feels like. It's the demise of West Ham. You know, we're being ripped apart. And I don't know, mate. I really don't fucking know. We've got boardroom struggles. The fucking team don't fucking gel. You know, Nuno's got his fucking favourites who he puts his arm around and who he doesn't. And he don't show no passion. That's the thing as well. Show a bit of passion on the sidelines, and maybe that passion will generate onto the park, onto the pitch, and give the players something to fucking, you know, if they see the manager fucking jumping about like a lunatic, maybe it'll inspire them. But I just don't think Nuno's the man to do it. I really don't. You know, I don't think he's the man to do it. He's not going to take us anywhere. And to be fair, I think he wants out. I think he wants out, you know, he wants another payday. I think he wants to go.
Yeah, I looked today. So he could have gone last year, but for nothing actually. And he's only signed, I think it's between 2.5 and 3 if we don't go up. So should he go early? I think he don't get anything. I think that was wrote in the contract. Might be wrong, but you know, if you was not doing your job right, regardless of what you do, you know, we know what you do, Martin. We know what you did, Stu. You was like super bricky. So if you're not doing your job right, your boss comes and looks at you, doesn't he? And he thinks, is he really trying his best? Is he doing something wrong? Maybe someone needs to put an arm around him and go to him. You know, at least Julian Lopetegui begged. He begged for his job. He went, don't let me go. I don't want to go. I'm losing me dad at the moment. Me dad's seriously ill. I don't want to lose this job. I want to prove to you I can do it. I think if Sullivan goes up to him, and I think he's playing games, this Sullivan, and I don't think he's been out off the scene for a long time. And I think he's laughing his head off what's going on at the moment. I don't think he cares a monkey's about the fans. But that's for another show. Gentlemen, as per usual, it's
Hang on, Dougie. What did you think? What do you think the score's going to be tonight?
And on art.
I think you're getting away without putting a score up, son.
I think we're going to win, because I think, Martin, I think confidence breeds confidence, and I think success breeds success. And I think Stu called it the other day, whoever it is, has got to get that team together, gel them, take them out, go play paintball, go on go-karts, go around someone's house. Do you remember the pictures of all the Leicester players down Jamie Vardy's house when they won that cup that night? You remember? And that bonding, you just do more for each other. Stu was saying about going away games. When you went away games years ago, you knew to go with, and you knew not to go with. You knew it was going to be there for you. And there's just something about the whole club that has been so negative for so long now that we're just accepting it. Everyone should be, well, that's the way it is. It's just an acceptance. But we don't have to accept it. And if the club don't like that we don't accept it, we expect them to do something about it. And I think with Nuno, rightly or wrongly, he's living off his Wolves days. He's living off what he did. You know, he got record points with Wolves. Then he got Forest into Europe. But that don't mean anything.
That was 8 years ago, though.
That's what I'm saying. It don't mean anything. If I go out now and don't do, you know, I've got contracts with loads of people. If I don't do my job right, they get rid of me, and rightly so. And that's what they should be looking. Someone should go down there and go, listen, you've got this game and the next game. And if you don't change things, and if it looks like, does it look like to you before we go, the players ain't playing for him, Martin?
Yeah.
Once you lose the squad, you know you've had it. We had it with Curbs and sort of Pars. Stu, do you think they're playing for him?
No, I don't think they are. I mean, but the whole playing squad's in turmoil. We've got players that are refusing to play for us. I mean, I spoke about this. I was talking about this having a cup of tea with Jim yesterday around at his gaff. And as I said, because he asked me about Alvarez, and I said, well, Alvarez is refusing to fucking play. And he said, really? I said, yeah. You know, any other walk of life, any other fucking job, if you turn around and said to your employer, I ain't coming in, I don't want to come in, I don't want to fucking work. What they're going to do is your fucking P45, piss off. You're not getting no more money, fuck off. You know what I mean? And that's the trouble with it today. Players have got so much power that they can do that. And and they still draw their wages. They still command their wages, and I think it's wrong. Until we get a unity in that squad, we're going to struggle. We will struggle. Yes, we're not. We're going to win every now and again. We are going to, you know, and it's going to be a big high for us. But until we get a proper unity in that squad, I can't see us getting out of this league. Yeah, and as I said before, I could see us in League One next season. If we
Sure, it's going to get more toxic. The longer it goes, it's going. Look, I'm a great believer in giving us 8 to 10 games. I do. I think if we're bringing in quite a few players, we'll know this time next week. We'll know because that's when it shuts. But if we're bringing in a few, of course you've got to gel. You've got to know who's going to run. Like I said to you the other day, but a lot of these players that are there from last year should already know who's going to make the run, who's going to drop, who's going to be available for space. I've said it to you a million times, Martin. You need to know when you've got that ball, you back the goal with defense. You need to know you've got an outlet and someone to pass it to. I'm not going to rate James JWP, but he's always there. He's always available. You know what I mean? He don't do great things with the ball, and we've got a young Ingles done with this. But listen, guys, we are going to do our first live show, and when we do this first live show, is it Nuno in or Nuno out? So when we do the live show, we will put up a thumbnail first, which our techno wizard Martin will do. We will have Stu on board, obviously. He's our swearing wizard and our Tourette's wizard, and I'm just here to start it and hopefully not.
You're the good looks of the channel, Doug.
Well, it's great.
All 4'2" of you.
I meant to say this. A big shout out to someone the other day. I don't need to mention his name, but he spoke about suicide on here, and he brought it up. And you know, we've all of us have gone through different stages of our life where we go through dark days. Mate, and I want to say a big thank you for that guy for what he did that day and having the courage to speak about it. I won't mention his name. He knows who.
Us three here, we met through a support group, and we have all been in that dark fucking place.
And
does that post-transition count, Joe? Does it start post-transition? Does that count as the same group? Oils and tiaras.
It's an anniversary for me tomorrow, so tomorrow's going to be pretty tough. But then next month, it's 3 years, and that's going to be even fucking worse. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, guys. If we can, we're going to do Stu's story. It'd be a big deal for him, but if he'll do it, we'll do Stu and Robbie's story. And that will be an handkerchief job, I'll tell you. So when we do that one, we'll put that one out beforehand. Stu, take us out, brother. Love you both, guys. Come on, you Irons.
Take care. Stay safe. Stay lucky, my friends.
Who won tonight?
And I didn't